Denver has one super meaningful game left against Memphis. The game at Houston, I just wonder if Houston's going to be sitting guys. My guess is they will. The Clippers have one super meaningful game left at the Warriors. Memphis has two super meaningful games left. Home for Minnesota, at Denver. And then obviously the game that will definitively will determine a huge amount in the Western Conference is Clippers-Warriors, Game 82, 3:30 Sunday afternoon, probably on ABC. The loser of that game probably goes to the play-in. The winner of that game is going to be either is going to be the 4, the 5, or the 6. Here is the part that might surprise the audience. If I'm the Lakers, I would rather play right now Golden State than play the Clippers. I think that the Clippers, with Kawhi having a week off between the playoffs because of the play-in, and them playing so well right now, and Zubats being a real force when the Lakers don't have a center, I think that is a tougher matchup than a Golden State team that reminded you last night, yeah, we can beat anybody, but we can lose to anybody in big spots. And so it's almost impossible to handicap how it's going to fall exactly. I know that Minnesota right now is sick, because Minnesota, if they didn't blow that 26-point lead to the Bucks night before last, they're sitting there at 47-32 with games against Brooklyn and Utah remaining, and they are in great shape to get up to the 4-5 line. I'll tell you something else. The Warriors being in the play-in is devastating for them. You can be like, oh, well, as long as you win your play-in game, you get Houston. Houston fully rested.
Young,
that defense
energetic
is not. Go ahead, DeMonte.
Oh, I said young and energetic. Golden State coming off of that. It's tragic.
Yeah, that's not going to be fun. You lose your play-in game, and all of a sudden, you find yourself in a one and done. You'd win it, I would imagine. But now you're going to Oklahoma City. And this is also where I remind you, the Warriors' history in the play-in is not great. The Warriors in 2021 lost 2 play-in games and missed the playoffs. And the Warriors last year, again, in things that we just memory hole, we just vacillate between the Warriors are, Steph is in the GOAT conversation and disregarding the fact that last year, the Warriors in the play-in lost to Sacramento and their season was just over. Lost to the Kings in a one and done, season over, good night, good luck. So the Warriors historically have played 3 play-in games. LeBron hit the 3-rim 3 over Steph to beat him in their first. The young upstart Grizzlies, back when the Grizzlies were fun, beat him in the second one in Golden State to knock him out of the playoffs. And last year, the Sacramento Kings beat him to knock him out of the playoffs. And so, again, Since Durant left, the Warriors' seasons have gone, missed the playoffs, won the damn title, lost in round 2 to LeBron, missed the playoffs, and now this year, if you froze the standings right now, they're in the play-in again. And by the way, there is no team in the league that wishes you could freeze the standings right now like the Lakers, where they get Memphis in round 1, which is the dream. Denver and the Clippers and the Thunder are all on the other side of the bracket, and the Warriors have to play play-in games. That is the dream bracket. It's not going to stay like this, though, because too many of these teams play each other. But that is the standings as we sit here today. By the way, for people watching live, couple things. One is, we appreciate you. Second is, please like, rate, subscribe, review, do all those things. It really does help us, and it, leads to us, doing more of the kind of surprise shows or instant reaction shows. They asked me yesterday, Paul texted me. He's like, hey, you want to do a snap reaction right after the game quick? And I was like, I would. But tonight was a bottle of wine night while I'm watching the NBA, and I just don't think it's a good idea. But also, people watching live, you can throw questions in the chat, and we'll get to them later. So there was, gosh darn it. Oh, there was something. Oh, Edwin in the chat says, don't sleep on playoff Jimmy. So again, this is where the producers are going to get mad at me, because this is where I do open up a bunch of basketball reference pages, and it might mess up my internet a touch. Here is my only pushback. Anybody that's watched the TV show over the last few years has known no one has prayed at the altar of playoff Jimmy more than me. That I've said he's a different guy. When they made the finals against the Nuggets, I did a whole thing about how if he wins the title, his resume versus James Harden's resume is one of the more fun NBA Rorschach tests of all time. All of it. But I do think there is reasonable reason for concern that the playoff Jimmy we are used to might not be around this year. So here's what I mean. In 2022, Jimmy Butler was 21-6-6 in the regular season, and then bumped that in the playoffs to 27-7-5. So he was a 22-point-a-game guy who bumped it up to 27 in the playoffs. The next year, in the regular season, he was 23 a game and an All-NBA second-teamer. And then in the playoffs, he bumped it to 27 a game. Here's the point I'm making. Historically, playoff Jimmy means bump my scoring average by about 4 points. This year, he's a 17-point-a-game guy. And he's with the Warriors 46% from the field and 28% from three. So even if you get the playoff Jimmy bump, he does not appear to be quite the player he was when what Jimmy would do is go from being a B+ guy to an A guy. What if now that means he goes from a B- guy to a B+ guy? That's a concern. So that's my only pushback on that.